Hey guys, I'm back. Thank you for joining my channel. This is a continuation video from the previous video that I posted about Operation Debt Freedom, Dave Ramsey style. So this is part B of that video. I asked everyone in that video to go ahead and write out their monthly cash flow plan, like actually fill out the form that they could get from the Dave Ramsey website. And I put the links in the description below as well for this video. But I wanted to come back and actually share with you the homework I did. So I asked everyone to do homework. So I'm coming back with the video for the same day and basically a part B showing you that I've done the homework as well. So with this particular Operation Debt Freedom / Wealth Creation, we're following the Dave Ramsey baby steps. At least I am. I'll probably talk about other ways, and you could find other ways could be as useful. But right now I'm looking at Dave Ramsey and seeing how this works because I've used him for so long as far as tracking my budget and things like that. But I've never gotten past baby step number 1, which is to have $1,000 in your emergency fund or your spending fund or your financial freedom fund, whatever you want to call it. Because I would get the $1,000 in there and then we would have to use it. Get the $1,000 in there, then we have to use it. And even though we've received increases in income over the years, our expenses went up as well. And so I'm still working from a budget. And I like the word budget. I don't have a problem with it because every dollar needs to have somewhere to go. If it doesn't, it will do whatever it wants to do and go rogue. So I need to tell it, look, little dollar or 1 cent, you're going over here. And that's where I need you to operate for now. And so I've asked everyone to, if they don't have the $1,000 in their emergency fund, let's work on getting that there first. How are you going to get the $1,000 in there if you don't have it already? Well, let's look at your monthly budget. If you have extra money left over, put that into your savings until you get up to 1,000. And then we'll stop there and then move into eliminating our credit card debt. If you don't have a surplus and you're at 0, like that means how much you're bringing in, all of it's going out to wherever you designated to it on your monthly cash flow plan. At least you're at 0, but you can't tackle any debt. And if you don't have an emergency fund, did you put an amount allocated to savings? If you put an amount allocated to savings, how long is it going to take for you to reach your savings goal of $1,000? If you're putting $100 a month into your savings, you have a 0 balance, a 0 budget because you want your budget to come to 0. That means every dollar has been allocated to go somewhere. And you have, and we encourage you to put money into a savings. I don't care if it's $5. Put something in there, if at all possible, every month till you reach your $1,000 goal. But if you are able to do $100 a month, it's going to take you 10 months to get that $1,000 if everything remains the same. Now, if you get a birthday between now and then and somebody bless you with $200, put that $200 in your savings account. If you get a bonus, put that bonus in your savings account. You know, if you pay tithe off of your bonus, if you give off of it, that's great. Put the rest into your savings account until you get that $1,000. Once you reach that $1,000, then you can take the rest of it and put it on a debt, the debt to get out of the debt, right? And so I shared that I was able to get our $1,000 into an emergency fund just this last month, December 2022, because I got a bonus that was big enough to be able to put the rest in there to bring it up to 1,000 and still have some left over. But I have to hold out because I still have some left over to be able to handle a roof repair that we have to do. So I have $1,000 in my emergency fund, but then I also have a $1,000 deductible sitting in my checking account to pay for once we start getting our roof fixed. And that roof issue happened in December when we made the decision that we're going to take 2023 and start getting out of debt. And then I got that bonus, and now, praise God, 1,000 can go into the emergency fund. We still have 1,000 set aside to help with that roof, and we still had a little bit left over after that, right, to give and to use. So, if you get a bonus, use that to help fund your emergency fund if at all possible. Now, if you are but if you're doing $5 a month and you have a zero balance, a zero budget, or if you have $25 a month, it's going to take a little time to get to $1,000, and that can seem very discouraging. So we have to look at, okay, what are some things in your house that you can sell? Can you sell a television? Can you sell the rims off your car? What can you sell in your house? Do you have bikes that the kids aren't riding anymore that are in good shape that you can sell? Do you have clothes that you can sell? Do you have things that you can post online that you can sell? And then whatever you make from that sale or those sales, put that money into your emergency fund. Get creative. What can you do? Can you braid somebody's hair and they pay you for it? What can you do? Think about those things. What can you do? Ask God to give you direction, open your mind to see what do you have in your house that you can utilize to accomplish that goal. Then also look at your job. Is there a way that you can increase? Are you due a raise? Do you know if there's a bonus coming? Do you know on your pay stub, do you know where all of your deductibles are going to? Do you, I'm not a tax person, I don't claim to be, but consider your exemptions. You may want to talk to your tax preparer. If you're the person that's used to getting a tax refund at the beginning of every year because you paid too much in taxes throughout the year, maybe you can increase your exemptions a little bit so that you can get more in your check throughout the year instead of waiting for a big refund check to come in March or April whenever you file your taxes. Some people would say that giving the government more money in taxes throughout the year is like giving them a interest-free loan, and then when they give you a refund, they don't give you any interest on top of the money that they've taken from you. So why not just increase your exemptions a little bit so that either you can break even at tax season or you will get like a little bit back. But if you're scared to do that, I just pray that you would not be so afraid. Maybe increase your exemption by 1. Start there and just kind of get a feel for what your tax will look like. But since the year has ended, you're actually going to be doing your taxes this year. So when your taxes come up, if you get a refund, take that money and put it into your emergency fund. Don't go out and buy a new car. Don't go on a vacation. Don't buy a massage chair. Don't do those things. Take a portion of it and fully fund your emergency fund up to $1,000. And then the rest of that, I behoove you with the rest of it, put it on a debt or two, depending on how much you get back from your refund check. So, homework. I filled out my monthly cash flow plan. So I've written down what our take-home pay should be for the month of January, net, for me and my husband. Oh, I forgot something. Plus the $100 our son pays us to contribute to the household. So let me bring that up $100. So now I need to change my income total here. And then I subtract out my expenses. So I have our monthly take-home pay for January. I've written out what we're giving in tithe and offering, saving, our mortgage utilities, in that utility section, what we paid last month should be what we're paying this month. Groceries, transportation, gas for the vehicles. So that's the only thing I'm putting money into right now. Medical, I'm not worried about medical. We actually have an HSA program. My husband, his health insurance at his job, right now we have health insurance with Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and they have a high deductible plan, which is like a HSA, and then they have a HSA connected to it, which is a health savings plan. And so my husband does contribute to that health savings plan. So whenever we have a copay or some medication, or like we go to the dentist and we have to pay a copay, or if I go to the eye doctor and I have to buy my contacts or whatever, I use that HSA account to pay for our medical expenses. So that covers us for now. And also I'm a veteran, so I utilize the VA because I get some medical benefits because I'm a veteran as well. So I don't have to worry about paying that out of pocket. And I thank you to all who do pay taxes, because it does go to take care of our veterans when needed. And I only use them when I absolutely need to use the veteran, my veteran benefits for that. I don't get vision or dental. I just get major medical and surgery stuff with the VA. I don't get like dental or vision. So I utilize my own insurance or my husband's insurance for vision and dental. Insurances, life insurance, auto insurance. We have also legal insurance. We call it legal insurance, but we have access to a legal plan. So if anything ever happens, we have access to an attorney. I put down on the personal, I put down toiletries, and for now, just for the month of January. And then we do have a bank fee that we pay for our checking account. And then my husband likes to have his personal fund. So I remember when we first got married and I got him onto a budget, and he felt very upset because he felt like, I'm working and getting all this, I'm working and bringing in the income, but I feel like I have nothing to show for it. I can't like just take $10 and go to the movies, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. Like he doesn't have anything to show for it, like a reward, right? So I was the type of person, I'm like, you don't need that. We need to take care of bills first. Bills come first. If we don't have nothing left over, oh well, so sad. Watch a movie at home, blah, 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 right? Like you don't need to go nowhere, need to do nothing extra because you don't have the money for it. Why? But after months of that, I think we started off with like $20. Okay, you can have a little $20, to feel like you're working for something, even though you're working to take care and sustain your family. And now we're up to $50. So I earmarked like $50 aside for my husband. So like if he's at work and he doesn't have food, then he can use that to buy food, or, I don't know, something that he would like to get, just like some little miscellaneous thing that he would like to get with the money. So now I've earmarked $50 for him. I haven't earmarked anything for myself, but I do tend to buy stuff periodically for myself, but I would use the credit card to do that. I love reading. I like books. So I would buy a book, another book, and he'll see these books come in and be like, why are you buying all these books? I like to read. Well, why haven't you finished the other books you've already gotten? Because I want to read this one. Or whatever, right? So that was my little spending plan, but I was doing it on credit cards. I wasn't doing it just with cash money. And so I still haven't given myself a fund yet, and I'm not going to. I'm going to also refrain, because I was so tempted this Christmas to buy some decorations, to do some stuff like that. And I had to channel that energy through my job, buying Christmas decorations for the tinsel trail that we did downtown Huntsville. So I utilized that opportunity to get my to get my satisfaction or to get that feeling of, ooh, I bought decorations and I get to decorate and it gets to look pretty. So I funneled that energy that I wanted to do for my home, I did it for my job, and I didn't have to spend my own money for it. So I bought the decorations with my job to take care of what they were doing, but it gave me that sense of, it satisfied that desire to buy Christmas decorations, and I didn't have to do it for my own home. So we ended up using, the decorations we already had and put it out and things like that. So, but I like to do fancy stuff around the holidays and buy this and buy that, and I couldn't do it. And we even cut back on like Christmas gifts. We gave the kids cash for Christmas, and that was it. And it was just the three young ones. We didn't even give the older ones anything, just the three young ones, because it was like, this is all we have to give, and this is what we're going to do. And they already know that we're on this journey to becoming debt free, so there's going to be some sacrifices being made this year. And so they're on board right now, so we'll see how that goes as time goes on. Continuing on the monthly spending plan, recreation, I don't have anything for that right now. Debts. So I filled up every single line listed here. So if you're looking at it too, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 16 lines for debts. And I filled in every single line. And I hope that's everything. I filled in every single line. And I've totaled that up. And if you look closely at the monthly plan, in each of these sections listed, it gives you a percentage of what they recommend that you should spend in each of those, or that you should budget for in each of those sections. And if you look at the debt section, it said that should be anywhere from 5 to 10% of your net income. But it says here your goal is 0, but your debt should not be any more than 5 to 10% of your take-home pay. Well, if I do the calculation, I take my debts divided by my take-home pay, that would give me a, so if you want to know what the percentage is, you would take the amount that you're spending in that section, in that category, divided by your monthly take-home pay, and that will give you the percentage. And I would, if I were you, I would write down the percentage that you're spending in each of those categories next to the amount, so you'll know how much you're actually putting in, whether you're doing too much or too little, or you're right there in the sweet spot. So when I did the percentage for our debt, currently we use 35% of our net income goes to these debts I have listed here on this form. 35%. So we're about 25% over the ideal recommendation, or 35% over the ideal 0%. So when I look at the other ones, divided by, so under personal, I'm at 2%, which is decent because I'm not really calculating any of that. I don't have anything else budgeted in any of those areas. And then under insurance, I guess I should put this over here. Okay. That is 5%. So actually my insurance is less than what they recommend. Make sure I'm not missing nothing. My homeowner insurance, that's included in our mortgage payment. I don't have any, I need to look at that because I don't know if that covers the stuff inside the house. It may, I'm not sure. But like disability insurance, that comes through our job, health insurance through the job or the VA, and long-term care, I have that through the job. We have life insurances at our job too, but I also have a separate policy outside of that. And that's another thing that you have to look at, is making sure you have life insurance even outside of your job, at least enough to bury you. To bury you and cover your debts would be great. Because I I get disappointed a lot when I hear of stories, and I have a personal story where my own mother passed and did not have life insurance. So her sister, my auntie, had to pay the bulk of the money to it. My stepfather had to pay out of pocket, and even my church, I believe, had contributed some amount to help, with the cost of it, because my mother passed without having any life insurance. So we have to take that into consideration. If we love our families, we need to have life insurance. We need to. Even if you're single, you should have enough to at least allow your family to bury you. Let's see. I have 3% with transportation because that's all I'm putting money towards right now. We do have like an oil change coming up this month for my car, so I'm gonna have to look at that as far as getting the oil change. Food, I'm at 10%. Utilities, it's probably about almost the same as the food. 10%. Mortgage. Our mortgage is only 18%. That's pretty great. I never really I never really looked at that like that. The real estate taxes is included in our mortgage. Repairs and maintenance, I don't put an amount in there. We don't live in an association, so we don't have HOA dues, and we don't have a second mortgage. But the mortgage itself is only 18% of our net take-home pay, so that's pretty good. So that means we probably, if we were making this money now and we were buying the house now at the cost of the house when we got the house, then we could afford, we could get the house on our net income, as opposed to looking at our gross income. Because when we initially got our houses, we were making less than what we're currently making now. Of course, we've been in our house basically 3.5 years. So savings, and I'm going to adjust this, and you'll see why in a second. Savings is like 1%. Because I only put $100 there, savings a month, $100. And okay, and our charity is ready at 16. I do 16%. Okay. And I do, when charity, tithe and offering, we do our tithe and offering off of the gross, not off the net. So our percentage is a little higher because because this amount is based off the gross, not the net. So that's how we give when we pay our tithe and offering, or we return our tithe and offering. We do it off the gross. But it's between you and God. All right. So with that being said, when I put our take-home pay in there, what it's supposed to be for the month of January, and I add up all of our expenses and our bills, I am actually in the negative. We are in the negative by only $31.88. Now, I'm very surprised that it's that low, because at one point we were like negative 500. Just to be honest, we were negative 500. So now that we're like at $31.88, you would say, well, then your husband needs to give up his $50. He could. But what I'm going to do instead is, initially we were putting $100 in savings, but since we have our emergency fund at $1,000 already, and it's actually a little bit over, it's like $1,200 in the emergency fund, I'm going to remove that $100 from savings. So we're going to take that $100 off. which will reduce our expenses by $100. Which is now we're in the positive by $68.12. So what am I going to do with that $68.12? Right, I'm going to put that on a debt. So I need to use that $68.12 and put it on my lowest debt that I owe. And so I'm going to do a video. The next video you're going to see is a video on our debt snowball. Because if we've reached step 1, where we have the $1,000 emergency fund, we've done our budget, our monthly spending plan, we have a surplus. That surplus needs to start tackling the debt. That's a little bit of surplus, but it'll go a long way in helping us with the debt. So the next video, we're going to tackle the debt. Bye.